Minnesota, I think the biggest thing for us in this game is going to be recognition of when to attack in the press, recognition of when to swing it and make them guard, recognition of their defenses, and really stay very fundamental with moving the ball and with very good screening and cutting. And then defensively, we're going to have to do a great job. They have multiple scores, and going into Iowa City and winning like that, especially the way Iowa had been playing, that's a great win. I believe they've won 5 of their last 7, right, Minnesota? So they're playing extremely well. Andre Hollins is, I believe, shooting 58% from 3 in the last 5 games. So he's playing at a high level. But again, like all the other teams in this league, they're far more than just 1 or 2 man teams. And so we've got to do an excellent job of defending the post. Their wing players, the quickness in the backcourt. Sometimes they use the screen. A lot of times they refuse the screen. We've got great awareness there. And bottom line is you just cannot allow a guy like Andre Hollins to just play with great freedom in the game. So we're looking forward to it. We need a lot of energy in the building. It's I think the only Sunday night game we'll have had all year. We've had Sunday games, but the only Sunday night game. And we should have tremendous energy in there. A lot of former players will be back. I just saw Christian Watford upstairs. Cody, I believe, is going to be back. Vic, depending on what happens with the dunk contest, looks like he could be back here tomorrow night. And so, love that when those guys are around. But bottom line is, we just want to get out and compete again and build on our practices and go against a very good team. Go ahead.
On the pressure Minnesota puts on, one is it similar at all to Louisville? And regardless of that, what's the key to dealing with that?
Well, I haven't watched Louisville really since we played them in early December, so I don't know what their pressure looks like right now. But as far as for a history of it, I would say sure, because of the fact that they switch. You know, they can man press, they can zone press, they can be on the ball, off the ball, they can fall back to zone, they can fall back to man, they can match up when the ball goes in the middle of their zone, which is something that Rick Sr. does a lot. So I'm sure there's similarities, but we've really just been focused on how we want to attack them and what their personnel's like. But like I said, the key is recognition. When to attack, when not to settle. I mean, actually, you never want to settle, but when not to take the first shot that you see off that attack, make them play defense, make them move, get everybody involved defensively. And so it's just a matter of playing. It's not a secret science, you know, out there. It's just really, it just comes down to really good recognition.
With Hollins, I think he's averaging 21 points over his last 7. What makes him so tough to guard?
Multiple ways to score. He's doing a great job of using screens right now, and he's doing a great job of setting screens. And they do an excellent job of moving him around. And they get him shots early, and they get him shots late in the clock and in the middle. He's got a tremendous step back, and he's had that for a long time. They're one of the older teams. I think they're in the top 50 of experience in the country. So they've got a lot of guys that have been through it, and numerous guys, and certainly he has. So the ability to read defenses, recognition, getting to the foul line, tremendous three-point shooter, can shoot it from the wings, the top, and the corners. And bottom line is he can get his own shot. So he knows he's really using screens well, setting screens well, and at the same time he can get his own shot when things break down.
What's the next step for Hunter? Just get back in shape, kind of adjust to the speed of the game?
Just get ready to play against Minnesota. Build on, thought he made really good improvements in the week from a guy that we didn't know until really last Saturday was going to play, last Sunday. And I thought he did some really, really important things for us on Wednesday night in Maryland and played with really good confidence. It's just a matter of that. Keep letting the game come to him and refine his moves around the basket, and because we weren't able really to do any of those type of things in his recovery. It wasn't like we got to spend a lot of time working him out in the sense of, you know, breaking down. We made breaking down offense and things of that nature. So, you know, for a long time he shot free throws in rehab, and all of a sudden we were able to get him back into the action. And then he didn't go full court, like I said, until really the day before the game. So it's just a matter of that, playing him and getting him ready for those type of things.
I know obviously the physical thing's just going to kind of come as it does, but how important was it to see him play just the way he did against Minnesota? You used the word confident. I mean,
against Maryland?
Against Maryland, yeah.
Absolutely. Very good. I mean, very good. He played smart. He played hard. He was competitive. He got in position to defend and draw charges. And We were doing some different things defensively in the game that he had not had a chance to do before, and he picked that up well. You know, as far as when we're in a combination, you know, where he needs to be. So it wasn't just guarding his man or guarding an area. There was a combination of things for him, and he did a really good job with that. So, and he had great intensity that night. He just needs to build on that.
What did you like that you guys did in Maryland? What did you really like?
I liked a lot of it. You know, I'm so far into Minnesota now that we executed well, and some things we didn't do as well. And we just want to keep getting better at those things in practice.
What has Jordan Fuchs shown you in practice so far?
Jordan Fuchs has shown tremendous athleticism, competitiveness, toughness. He's got very, very good second and third reaction and short space quickness, which is huge. I mean, it's really easy to see why. He's a very good football player, and it's easy to see why he's had success on the basketball court too, because not only does he give that second and third effort, but he gives that second and third reaction, and they're two different things. You know, a lot of guys want to give effort, you know, they get beat and they want to give the effort. Well, he's got the quickness and the speed to do something about it. And he picks things up very fast. You can tell he's been well coached in basketball. There's no question about that. He's got real good basketball instincts. And I've never seen him practice in football, but I got to believe he picks up things pretty fast over there too. He's a quick learner on those type of things. Two different sports, obviously, but impressed with his attitude. You know, he's brought a competitiveness to practice. He goes to the glass. He listens, and we're excited to have him.
Well, what's a realistic, I mean, obviously, you know, conditioning, football conditioning, basketball conditioning is not the same, but once he gets enough time, what's a realistic goal for him in terms of how much he'd be able to use it?
I don't have one. We wouldn't have brought him over here if we didn't believe that he could help us. And like we said in the release, we'd have done it probably earlier if there hadn't been the injury that he had, and then making sure that he got all the way back from that. So, you never know. I mean, I'm not being evasive. I don't know, but we didn't just bring him over to practice, and we didn't bring him over with a timeline. We brought him over to help us compete, to help us win, and every day he's better. That's the bottom line.
Your thoughts on Cody and Victor playing in the Rising Stars? Not how they played, but just the fact that they were there.
I think that's fantastic. I think it's fantastic for Indiana. It's fantastic for them, for their families. It says a lot about the way they've developed in that league, and I don't think any of us are surprised. And all-star games and those events and dunk contests and three-point shootouts, those are nice things. Those are individualistic things, but they don't bring in people to those events that aren't going to draw some attention. And we're proud of those guys. And I've been ever since the second year Dwayne Wade was in the NBA, made the all-star team. You're always proud of those type of things. Coach Wes Matthews for 3 years, he's in the three-point shootout. You're proud when those guys get a chance to do something on a personal level. But the bottom line is they wouldn't be in those situations if they weren't doing things on a team level.
One more question?
I guess just you've gotten through, I know you don't like to look too big picture, but you do close here with 4 of the last 6
I'm
at
not looking
home.
big picture.
Yeah, I mean, but how good is it for this team, given the stretch you just had to go through, the 4 tough road games, to be able to have 4 of your last 6 at home, some manageable, at least looking.
I haven't looked at that. The only thing I want to make sure is we have great energy in the building. You know, that's the most important thing. If there's something to look ahead to, we've got 4 home games left for our fans and for the students to see, and just make sure that energy is popping. And because these guys are working extremely hard, and we need a Maryland atmosphere in there. I mean, that's what we need. We need that type of atmosphere, that the walls are shaking long before tip-off ever comes. So that's the only thing that I really look at jumping ahead. But other than that, every day is about getting your team better and getting ready for that next opponent. And past that, really not looking ahead into, and other than if you see them, if you see a team, I'll take notes certainly on a team that we're playing as you're watching, you know, 2 teams playing the league. That's different. As far as looking ahead into breaking the schedule down, haven't done that at all. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a similar question, just with so many teams, you know, kind of bundled up between 2nd and 8th. How important is it to maximize these 4 home games?
I couldn't tell you who's between 2nd and 8th.
I'm just saying it's so close, is that the fact that you have 4 home games
I
left, it
think
has
it's
to be.
important that we play really well tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You know, I think anytime you start looking ahead and start You have to plan ahead, but you can't start looking ahead. It's two different things.
Yeah.
You know, when you're planning and you're looking at your practices and you're looking at who you're playing and looking at how you'd like to see somebody develop over a period of time, that's planning. But looking ahead gets you off track. We haven't done that and not going to do that. We certainly don't want the team to do that. So we're well aware of the schedule, you know, that we have 4 of the 6 at home, but also well aware that every team we're playing is like the rest of them that we've played in this league. They're really, really good. And I think that bears out. And so you're never playing their record, you're never playing their percentages, you're never playing their tradition. You're playing that team on the floor and what they're capable of on a given night. And that's what we're focused on. All right, thank you.